Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Terry Hunter. I'm an intuitive astrologer and I'm here today to talk about the full moon at 13 degrees of Leo on February 1st, 2026 at 2:09 p.m. That's Pacific time. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to briefly talk about what a full moon is. I'm going to talk about the influences that are happening during this full moon. Basically Venus and Mars's influence as well as Saturn's. And then I'm going to talk about how the aspects are leading up into eclipse season. And I think this is really important because when I looked at this chart at the time of the full moon, we can see we have a Cancer rising. We have Jupiter in Cancer, and we have the moon in the second house, which is a wealth house. And we have the Sun and Mars both in the eighth house, which is another house of money. And Venus is technically in the ninth house, which is a house of money as well. So this really came across as people during this full moon thinking about their resources, thinking about the future, thinking about their independence and what they want. So what a full moon is when the sun and the moon are in an opposition and the sun's light is reflected back to the moon, illuminating the brightest phase of the moon. At the time of this full moon, we see that the sun and Mars and Venus are making a half square to Saturn. I think that this is important because in Aquarius, I think that Venus here is very much thinking about her independence, thinking about what it is that she likes when it comes to making money. She's not super emotional here. She's not necessarily even focused in on one-on-one relationships. She's very much focused in on her goals, on how money is a resource for her freedom and her independence. Mars's influence is very similar. Both, any planets that go into Aquarius are intellectualized. The emotion seems to be more detached, and you can see the bigger picture. So Mars's focus is on how can I take action so that I can be myself, I can be independent, I don't have to depend on anyone. And even in some level, Mars could want to be the hero here, to take action to bestow more financial resources on the masses. You could also, even on some level, we can see that this full moon could illuminate how you could make money through your networks, through other people's money, the eighth house. Now, the challenge is this half square. The half square to the sun, to me, is really this interior. It's a minor aspect, a 45-degree aspect, but it's an internal conflict. And here we're looking at Saturn at the 28th degree, this anaretic degree, really bringing up history, bringing up old patterns of feeling maybe invisible or limited or restricted, or I'm not good enough, I haven't done the work. Saturn here also would have an urgency, a certain urgency that, you could almost feel like you're behind the eight ball. Like on some level, this full moon could make you feel as if I should have been doing something a while ago, or I should have been saving money. I should have been building my, social media accounts. I should have been thinking of my future. And I think that's a disservice because all it will do is pull you back into the past. I feel like while the conjunctions from Mars and Venus are not tight, they feel almost like sentries, where Venus is here saying, we need to move forward. We need to think about how we can use our skills, use our voice, contribute to humanity and make money. And Mars is ready to take action and be a little bit rebellious. But this nagging internal conflict can make you almost get caught up in too much intellectualizing, too much strategizing. The moon in the second house of my voice, the house is also a house of security. It's where I use my skills. Leo is the leader. It's ruled by the sun. sun here is not in favor. It's in detriment in Aquarius because it's not about the ego of the self. This is about leadership. This is about the bigger picture. But at this time, with this moon being the last moon before eclipse season, it very much to me feels like, how am I using my voice? How am I using my skills? Am I stepping into leadership for my future? The square and a half to Saturn, Saturn being the only real planet other than Venus and Mars. And Venus and Mars, this feels like a team to me. We know there's a stellium going on in Aquarius right now. And so, that's a powerhouse. And Saturn co-rules Aquarius. So Saturn here is bringing outer conflict and inner conflict. Somehow there's an outer event, a sense of urgency to either move past my history, to move past limitation, to move past some authority figure. At the time of this moon, it's in the 10th house. We see that's a very public house, often rules government, leaders, our own public reputation. That could be something that you're thinking about. If I make a sudden move, if I do something that detaches from what other people expect of me and I do what I want for myself, how will that affect me in the long run? Leo is very much the sign of wanting to be on the stage. And it's not always a stage where you crave applause, but more the stage of your own life, living what brings you joy, what brings fun into your life, what makes you feel like you're fully expressing yourself. And this opposition feels like it's illuminating where I have those talents and where it's time to start strategizing for the future, for my future income, for the people in my life. Mars and Venus are always going to represent the archetypes of other humans. Venus, obviously, women, Mars, men. This is a friendship and a social house, Aquarius. So here, this is using your potentials, both the yin and the yang of who you are, to start to internally, emotionally strategize so that you can take this piece of your history. We see Neptune here, that, this transit's been going on for a long time. So there is influence of Neptune on Saturn as it makes the half square to the sun and the square and a half to the moon. And we've seen the sextile to Uranus for quite some time, but Uranus is the ruler of the house of this full moon. So there is a big pull and a big theme of, I want to move my story forward. I want to make my own money, or I want to be more in charge of my abundance. I want to be more independent, to use money as a tool versus as a luxury or a security. And I think also that because of the way AI and the platforms are going to jump, that this is going to be it's almost how we're all going to supplement our incomes. And we know that the Saturn-Neptune conjunction is rewriting humanity and how we view ourselves. So overall, while this full moon seems to have small aspects, minor aspects, 1 square and a half, 1 half square. To me, it's really looking at my sense of security, my sense of self, my skills, my voice, my confidence as represented by Venus, my ego. Will I stand in leadership? Will I believe that I'm good enough to stand in for my own life, how I want my life to go? And Mars here, this is where Mars is not so hot, but Mars is strategic. Mars is planning. Mars is more intellectualized. So I really do believe that this is a powerful full moon before the next eclipse. And that eclipse is going to be on February 17th. It's going to be at 28 degrees of Aquarius, that anaretic degree, where we're seeing, Saturn right now at that anaretic degree of Pisces. So we're really going to want to move into and feel this sense of urgency, almost as if your future is calling to you. So that's it for this full moon in Leo. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, please subscribe, please share, and come back for more content. And have a great full moon. Bye-bye.